What is going on, guys? Welcome to our kind of video. Basically, we're going to be taking a look back at expansions and going to be rating them all the way from classic to BFA. I don't know when you're watching this, but this is going to be my expansions. Just to clarify, I didn't start until like the end of Burning Crusade. So just to put that out there. But I did have a chance to play classic, obviously with the re-release of it. So I do have an understanding of how it works. So let's go and take a look at, just basically start at classic and go in chronological order. Classic was probably one of my favorite expansions, just because it's what started it all in a sense. So having a chance to go back and play it, because when this came out I was 4 years old, just to put that in perspective. So when it came out it was really great. So I do rate it. I'm gonna say it's above average. It's not gonna be my favorite expansion, and we'll get to what my favorite expansion is here in a bit. Just because I just didn't have a chance to play it when it was actually a thing. So but having a chance to play it in classic, I still think it's a great expansion. Now going on to Burning Crusade, I personally didn't like this expansion. I played it for the last couple months of it, and leveling was just ass. Like, the story wasn't interesting. I don't know. I just didn't find that story very interesting. So I'm gonna put Burning Crusade below average. And then we get into one of my favorite expansions, but not my favorite expansion, which is Wrath of the Lich King. This was a very good expansion. I think the end game content definitely was better than the story. I mean, the story was amazing because Death Knight is my favorite class. You guys know I do videos on Death Knights. So the introductory of this class was actually really cool, and I loved it. And that's what got me hooked on the game, playing Death Knight. So this is going to be definitely an above average expansion. Then we get into Cataclysm. I honestly didn't play much of this, honestly. Like, the story was boring, the end game content was boring, in my personal opinion. So I'm going to put this as average, just because I know a lot of people liked the expansion. They added a lot of armor sets, a lot of things to do. So on that aspect, it was good, but I just wasn't my personal favorite expansion. Then we get into Mist of Pandaria. This is my favorite expansion. I thought the PvP was great, the PvP armor, all that stuff, just the dynamics of PvP and PvE was great. The storyline was amazing, the Panda line was great. I just thought they did a really good job with this expansion, and that's why it's my favorite expansion, and this is what ultimately got me hooked on playing WoW. So we're going to go ahead and pop this into Mist of Pandaria as my best and favorite expansion. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at Warlords of Draenor. Warlords of Draenor was honestly the worst expansion that they've ever put out. It just was not a good expansion. I think they had too much to live off, or like too much hype to live off of, because of how successful Mist of Pandaria was. The game was booming, the servers were all full. Like, it was a good expansion, and they brought a lot of people back after the Cataclysm, which I don't think was a very good expansion, to be honest with you. But some people thought it was good, so that's why I put it in average. But yeah, Warlords of Draenor definitely was, I think, the worst expansion I've ever put out. So we're first gonna put that in dog fucking shit. Literally the worst expansion that has ever come out. Then we're gonna take a look at Legion. So I stopped playing like a month or two into Warlords of Draenor. I just couldn't stand the storyline. There wasn't much end game content other than like 1 or 2 raids. So it was just an overall shit ass expansion. So I didn't play much of it. I don't think I even got to the end game because of how shit the expansion was. So we get into Legion now. So this was like their bounce back, and I think this was a pretty good expansion as is. It still wasn't the greatest expansion. I thought the storyline was pretty interesting for the new added classes. They added a lot of new content. So when it comes to content side of expansions, I think it was a pretty good expansion. I don't like how they removed PvP gear. That's the only thing that I don't like about current WoW. I think PvP gear should be separate from PvE gear. That's what made Mists of Pandaria so successful. Was that you had the PvP side of gear, so if you wanted to play PvP, you had to grind for PvP. You didn't, like, you had to play just PvP. Now you have to absolutely have to play PvE in order to get good gear, in order to play PvP. Yes, there is the option to have the random drops and whatnot, but you get one piece of gear a week, and you also get the caps and stuff. I like that. They added that, and we'll get that in a second, but the capping system I just don't like. I think you should be able to pick what you want and not have it be random at whatever it gets. So you could get 3 weapons in a row, like you just don't know. So I like the currency aspect of Mists of Pandaria, and so I don't know. I thought Legion was okay content wise for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and rank it at average. I would say it'd be in between above average and average. I think, like I said, it's just the story carried the weight 100%. I think the end game content was a little, yeah. Then we get into Battle for Azeroth. This is the expansion that I played at the beginning, and I've played almost throughout, but I've kind of slowed down a little bit on playing it just because of work issues. This is a really grindy game. So first things first, I like the aspect of world PvP. I think it's a cool aspect. I think there should be a rating system to it. Like, you should be able to raid, like, that's a whole ass other video of what I think, where they think they could have gone with this and why it would have been a better expansion. I thought the story honestly was okay. Like, it wasn't too long, which was nice. I guess another thing too, like, Worlds of Draenor the story was so fucking long. And same thing with Legion. I felt like that. Actually, Legion's story was okay. But I just felt like Worlds of Draenor, like, it had so much potential to bring in the new, the new people, the Horde people, the new type of orcs, which is pretty cool. But they just did not do anything. Like, did not capitalize on anything. Like, it just, So I think the story of the Battle for Azeroth was okay. Not gonna lie, I think it was pretty good. And then other than that, I think the PvP was good. I like that they came out with 4 raids. That was pretty cool that they came out with 4 raids. I think in the past it was like 3 and 2. So although one of the raids is literally a two boss raid, but still, it's still a raid nonetheless. So I like that. And also, I think the world PvP has a lot of potential, and I'm excited to see what they can do with Shadowlands with it. Excuse me. And yeah, I'm excited for Shadowlands, and I'll be putting up content once that comes out. But as of right now, I'm just gonna kind of push out content that I think is applicable. So I do have a main channel as well, so if you guys do want to go subscribe to that, links gonna be down in the description. And also I stream on Twitch. I'm streaming all sorts of games from, World of Warcraft sometimes, to Rainbow Six Siege, to Destiny, to all sorts of games. If you guys want to go follow my Twitch, kind of get to know me as a person, what kind of other games I kind of play, links will be in the description. But for the final ranking of this video, we're going to rank Battle for Azeroth as an above average expansion just because of the potential it's set up for Shadowlands. I liked the raid aspects of it. Like, the raids are pretty good raids as well. And yeah, so that's going to be my ranking system. We got Warlords of Draenor as the worst expansion. Following is a Burning Crusade, mainly because I didn't play it that much. I didn't have time to go through a lot of the story. I was just trying to get to the end game to catch up with my friends. So yeah, then we have Cataclysm and Legion as an average expansion. It didn't get me hooked on the game like Classic did. The Legion, or not Legion, sorry, Wrath of Lich King and BFA and Mop did. But I think they were pretty good. They were good expansions as is. Then we have above average, which was mainly just to kind of see what I like. Mainly just to get me hooked on the game, to make me want to play it more. So Classic got me hooked on it because like I said, it was a whole new game for me. Just kind of go back in time and see stuff how it was before. Lich King, super hooked on the end game. The story was pretty good because Death Knight story is I think is the best story arc in the game. But yeah, and then Being able to the raid against the Lich King is my favorite raid as well. Then BFA as well, just the world PvP aspect was pretty cool. Made things a little bit difficult, but yeah, I think that got a lot of players to come back into the game, also with Classic. So I think this Shadowkeep has a lot of potential. I think it's just a matter of if they can capitalize on it. And like I said, capping it off is going to be Miss Pandaria as my favorite expansion. And yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. As I said earlier in the video, my Twitch is going to be down in the description. I have a Discord to notify you guys when I upload on my main channel. So if you guys are interested in seeing my main channel, it's mainly Rainbow Six Siege and like shooter games. Links will be in the description as well. And that's going to be it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.